Hey guys, I'm Jessica and this is Yoga for Beginners and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a beginner level 2 yoga practice that is going to be for those of you who've already done some basic yoga and who know how to modify the basic yoga poses to suit your body. So if you haven't done yoga before and you really are like a complete beginner to yoga, then check out some of my level 1 beginner yoga classes that break down every single pose, show you how to modify the poses, and they're for a little bit more of a limited mobility. So if you really have tight hamstrings or tight hips or bad knees or bad shoulders or a stiff back or any type of injury in your spine that creates a limited mobility there, make sure you go ahead and check those videos out first so that you can learn a little bit more about how to modify your practice to make it safe and effective for you. So if you're ready to go, let's get started. So today for your practice, all you're going to need are 2 blocks, and if you don't have blocks, you can use 2 big sturdy books. I recommend every single yoga practitioner has at least 2 yoga blocks, whether they're foam or cork or wooden, it doesn't matter. I use foam blocks, I prefer them. They are the 4-inch foam blocks. And I will actually put a link in the description for purchasing these on Amazon if you would like to. They're super cheap and they're just really, really awesome to have handy. So let's get started. Okay, yogis, we're going to begin in a comfortable seated position on your mat. So make sure that you modify this pose however you need to. If you need to sit up or sit on blocks or pillows or whatever against a wall, go ahead and do that. But we're going to sit with a nice, tall, straight spine. Close your eyes and bring your hands palms down on your knees. And just start to take some nice deep breaths in through your nose. Let it go through your mouth. Take another breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. So take a third breath in through the nose. Start to feel like you're pulling in all of the negativity that you're feeling, all of the bad emotions, all of your tension. Feel it coming in, culminating on this breath. And as you exhale, let it all go. I want to start always to cleanse our mind, cleanse our energy before we start our yoga practice. So notice how your body's feeling. Notice where your thoughts are right now. And just see if you can start to bring your awareness to the surface of your skin and feel the air touching you. Notice its temperature. Notice if it's humid air or dry air. And just feel the ground beneath you supporting you. Feel your yoga mat or the carpet or the hardwood floors or whatever you're sitting on, a towel, blanket. Just feel that supporting you and lifting you. And feel the breath moving in and out of your nose. Start to notice if there's any tight spots in your body physically. And as you breathe, maybe just emotionally, mentally, give a little bit more attention to those spots. Good, and let's open our eyes, and we're going to start by taking your right hand down to the ground. Reach your left arm out, palm facing up, and you're just going to reach it up and over your body, just really stretching, opening up the left side body. Keep both hips anchored down so that you're not lifting your hip up and just kind of tumbling over to the side. Nice. Inhale, reach both arms up. And then exhale, we're just going to place the left hand down and reach the right arm up and over the body. Just a nice, simple stretch. Kind of feel that top shoulder working its way up and back, kind of rotating the chest open. And then inhale, bring the arms down. Take your shoulders, shrug them up to your ears, and then bring them down. One more time. Up and then down. And then we're going to turn the palms to face up. Reach your arms way up toward the sky. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, simple twist to the right. So you're going to take your left hand to the outside of the right knee and the right hand behind you, looking over your right shoulder. Keep your hips anchored down. Feel like you're pressing your left hip back away from your twist. You're twisting from the navel up, always, always, always. And just long, tall spine here. So feel like somebody's got a rope attached to their head and they're pulling you up toward the sky. They're really lengthening your spine. Good. One more breath here. Exhale and come all the way back to center, arms reaching up. Exhale, twist now to the left. Take your right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left hand behind you, nice and tall with the spine, twisting from your belly button up, all the way up to the crown of the head. Even twist with the eyeballs. So look over that left shoulder just to kind of extend your twist there. Nice. Let's inhale, reach your arms back up toward the sky, look up, and then exhale, bring your hands down, and we're just going to come onto our hands and knees. Taking our tabletop position, palms down, fingers open nice and wide, and you're really gripping with your fingertips. So if you haven't learned about Hasta Bandha, make sure that you watch my beginner video where I outline how to use your hands on the ground. I'll put a link to that in the description. Turn your elbow creases forward, pull the belly in nice and tight, and inhale as you arch your back, looking up toward the sky, tailbone lifted. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Really feel like you're pressing your shoulders up toward the sky, getting a really nice curve through the back. Inhale for cow pose, looking up toward the sky. Exhale, round the back, tuck the tailbone, look down, cat pose. Inhale, drop the belly down as you lift the head, lift the heart, lift the tailbone, cow pose. Move at your own pace here. Really just setting up these movements to match your breath. So inhale, one pose, exhale, the other pose, and move at your own pace. Couple more here. We're just opening up the spine. Maybe you can move back in your cat pose and move forward in cow. Just getting a little bit more mobility here. Good. And then we're going to come back to center. Open the knees out wide. Bring the big toes together and drop back into child's pose. Now, make sure that you're modifying this pose however you need to, whether you're using your blocks or pillows or whatever it is. And then lower your head, your forehead down to the mat or a block or a pillow, whatever you need. Arms are reaching out in front of you. And then we're going to just turn the right palm up to face the sky and make a couple fists open and close with the right hand. Good, and then replace the palm on the ground, flip the left palm up, and open and close the fist a little bit here. Wonderful. So from here, we're going to start to just walk the hands over to the left, stretching out through the right side of the body. Shoulders are facing the floor. You can even take the left hand, bring it to the top of the right hand, and just give yourself a little bit of traction as you pull your right hip back away from your hands. Good, and then we'll come back through center and then walk the hands all the way over to the right. Same thing here. Keep the shoulders and the heart facing the floor. And you can even take your right hand, place it on top of your left hand, and press your left hip back and away from your hands to really get a little bit deeper into that stretch. This is one of my favorite stretches to do. I feel like we don't stretch our side body nearly enough. And it just creates so much tension and so much tightness in our sides and in our back. Good. Come back through center. Excellent. Now we're going to walk the hands forward a little bit so that you come up onto your knees and coming into puppy pose. So you're going to stretch your chest down toward the floor. Hands can be shoulder width or wider, as wide as you need them. And your tailbone is sticking straight up toward the sky. So there's different levels that you can be here. Chin to the floor. You can have your chin off the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. You can have your chest down onto the floor. So really it just depends on how much flexibility you have in your upper back. This is a place that usually is pretty tight on most of us. So this pose takes a little while to kind of work into. You can almost feel like you're pressing your mat forward with your hands, and that traction is just going to press your body back and press your chest towards your knees, your thighs, so it gives you a little bit of traction, a little bit of an assist here in this movement. Good, and then start to lift up, coming back into your tabletop. Knees are just a little hair wider than hip width apart. And we're going to inhale as you lift your left arm up toward the sky. Exhale, we're going to thread the needle, dropping that left shoulder down, sliding the left hand underneath of the right side of the body. So this right hand, palm is down on the ground. If you want a little bit deeper of a stretch, you're going to take your right hand up toward the sky and open up through the chest here. So really feel like you're twisting open. Keep pressing down through the right knee. So this is going to bring kind of equilibrium to the hip so that the right hip isn't lifting up and you're not just turning. So we want to twist here, not just turn. You can even drop this top hand down behind your back, looking up to the sky. Now remember, you don't have to do any of these modifications that I give. This practice is completely yours. And again, if you haven't looked at the basic modifications of these poses, go back and look at my level 1 beginner series. It's going to really show you how to do each one of these poses for your body type and your body abilities. Good. Start to take your right hand and unwind it, bringing the palm of the hand back down onto the ground. We're going to come back up, pressing ourselves up gently as you slide this left arm way up toward the sky. One more time, looking up past the hand. Then bring the hands down to the ground, and we'll just do the other side. Take your right arm, reach it up, making a big, huge opening in the heart, the chest. Exhale, slide the right hand underneath of the left side of the body. So same thing here. You're going to want to keep your hips level by pressing this left knee down into the ground. If not, this left hip likes to lift up here, so you want to kind of press it back. Now, left hand can reach up, and you can even drop it down behind your back, looking up toward the sky. Take another breath or two here. You know, just take whatever you need from each pose. That's what yoga is all about, is finding a level of understanding with your physical and emotional body and just taking what you need from the practice. No more, no less. Good, let's take this left arm, reach it back up, unwind, place the hand on the ground, complete our circle by taking your right arm up toward the sky, and then bringing it back down to the ground. Let's drop back into child's pose. Knees out wide, big toes together. Stretch your arms out in front of you and drop your forehead to the ground or whatever you're using underneath of your forehead. And find some nice, relaxing, cleansing breaths here. Feel your spine stretching long. Feel your hips opening. And then let's start to press back up into our tabletop pose. Bringing your knees hip width distance apart. And you're going to stretch your left foot forward. So bring it up towards the front of the mat And you can grab the ankle and drag it forward if you need to, whatever you need to do to get that knee up there. All right, so we're gonna come forward so that our hips kind of draw forward toward the front of the mat. Now you can keep your hands on top of your front knee if you want, or you can start to use your blocks or your books, whatever you're using in place of blocks, and just give yourself some support here. I really like to do this because this helps you kind of focus on the flexibility of the pose. By bringing your hands back a little bit further, you can start to lift up through the heart center and kind of draw the shoulders back and work on the flexibility of the upper spine, which is really important when you're doing any type of back bend. So pull the heart forward, lift the chest. You can look up toward the sky. If that's not comfortable for your neck, just look forward. Keep feeling like you're squeezing your abdominal muscles really, really tight here. Even though you're stretching, you still want to engage your abs. Strong and stretch. Close your eyes here if you want to, if it's not too much for the balance. Good. And we're going to come back to center, come forward a little bit with the upper body. You're going to come into a twist. So you're going to take your right hand down to the ground or a block and extend your left arm up toward the sky. Make whatever modification works for you. Looking up toward the sky, keep squeezing this front knee in. And now we're going to start to point that hand back, looking back behind you. So if this is too much, just come right back to here. Make sure that you're breathing in deeply, exhaling fully. So we want to engage Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath that we use in all of our practices, and I will also link that video in the description. So if you have no idea what Ujjayi breath is, go ahead and take a look at that, and that will transform your practice. It really, really does. It's amazing what breath can do. But we're breathing in deeply, exhaling fully. Good, and let's unwind, start to come back, and we're going to take this front knee, bring it back. If you want to have your hands on blocks, it kind of helps to lift you up and bring that knee back. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Take your right foot forward, way forward, as far as you can comfortably without feeling like you're overstretching yourself or you start to feel a lot of pain. You want to feel a nice stretch in the front of your left hip, but you don't want to feel excruciating and you don't want to feel like any sharp pains or shooting pains like that. So hands can remain on your front knee, or you can use your blocks up as high as you want them. I always like to have them on the top setting here and just bring them back a little bit. Head is up or forward, whichever feels good. Draw the shoulders back and down. Nice, and then we're going to bring your left hand either to your block or to the floor and twist, opening up through the right arm, reaching it up toward the sky, look up past the arm. Really just think about being expansive through the chest here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together to get more of a stretch through the heart. Good. And then we're going to take that right hand and reach it back, gazing back towards the right hand. And again, if this is too deep of a stretch right now, just come back to here. Keep pressing this right knee inward, like you're trying to hug it in towards your midline. Excellent. Unwind, bring that right hand back up, down to the ground, and we're going to stretch this right knee back. Let's pop into child's pose for another quick second and just kind of release the hips, because that was a really nice big stretch for the hips. Modify your child's pose however you need to, and enjoy
rest when you get the chance to rest, so that when you get the chance to work, you can enjoy work. Breathing in deeply here. Come back to your breath. All right, coming back to our tabletop. Let's tuck our toes under and press into downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Heels can be lifted or down. Knees can be bent or straight, whatever feels comfortable to you. Modify this pose as needed. And just spend a few breaths here, opening up through the chest, opening up through the shoulders, the hamstrings, the hips, everything opens up here. Feels really good. And you can pedal your knees out also if you want. It's a nice little beginning stretch to kind of wake up the hamstrings. Wake up, hammies. It's time to work. From here, look forward to the front of the mat, and we're going to bend the knees and just start to walk the feet up to the front. We'll come into a forward fold, bending your knees if you need to, modifying this with your blocks or with a chair if you need to, making sure your back is completely straight. And we're going to grab opposite elbows, hanging in ragdoll. And you can sway side to side here, just doing a semicircle with the upper body. Try to keep the hips still. We're just stretching out through the side body. Feet are about hip width distance apart. A little bit more if you need a little bit more balance. They used to always teach us in yoga to stand with your feet touching, but now they're finding that, especially for women, that this is really bad for your hips because our hips are naturally wider due to childbirth. So there is an angle with the femur bone that starts to have some wear and tear after a while of standing like that. So now they always recommend, they always know what they're talking about. They recommend that we stand with our feet hip width distance apart, which is about 2 fists width. Come back to center, and then we're going to bring the palms to the shins, pressing the head forward, pressing the tailbone back. So we're making a nice flat tabletop back here. Stretching and engaging the abs. Good, bend the knees, reach your arms out wide, look up toward the sky, coming up chin first with a flat back. Bring your hands together overhead and then bring your hands together in front of your heart for Samastitahi. Nice. From here, we're going to take a big step back with our left foot. So you're going to step back about maybe 2 to 3 feet, even more if you have really long legs. Your front foot is going to be over onto the right side of the mat. Your back foot is going to be facing the left side, at the left front corner of the mat. So it's out on a 45-degree angle. And we reach our arms up toward the sky, looking forward for Warrior One pose. Good. Pull the heart up, press the hips down, and feel like you're pulling this back hip forward and the right hip back. Good. Exhale, bring your hands down, bring your palms together in front of your heart. You're going to lift up onto your back toes, pressing down onto your front foot as you start to lift this back leg up into your Warrior Three pose. Keep your heart lifted, keep your gaze forward. Hands can remain at your heart, or you can bring them out for airplane wings, or you can even reach them forward. Really, really push back through that back foot. Pull the belly in nice and tight. And breathe. Focusing more on your breath than the pose is actually going to keep you in this pose a little bit longer. Good, and then we'll start to lift up, coming back into mountain pose. All right, so from here, bring your hands to your heart, and we're gonna do this on the other side. Keeping your left foot on the front left side of the mat, you're gonna step your right foot way back here, turning the back toes out only 45 degrees. So now your back toes are pointing to the front right corner of the mat.
And we're gonna bring our hands up to the sky. Roll the shoulders down and back. Front knee is bent, stacked right over top of the front ankle. So you don't wanna overbend the knee like this. We're not fencing. Reach the arms up toward the sky. Good. Keep the shoulders out of your ears. So just relax the neck. Try not to be grippy with your front toes. I know that's always my go-to. Pull the belly in and enjoy this pose for just a moment. Exhale, bring your hands down, big circle, palms together in front of the heart. Lift up onto the back toes, root down into the front foot. Feel like you're growing roots into the ground with this front foot as you start to lift into your warrior three pose. Press back into your back heel. Press the hands together if they're at your heart. Squeeze the belly in tight. Focus on your breath. Hands can remain here, here, or here. Breathe. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. And then let's come up to stand. Nice job. Bring your hands back together in front of your heart. And we're going to inhale, reach your arms up toward the sky. Interlace your fingers, but point your index fingers. Lift your chest up, and then start to feel like you're making an imaginary line on the ceiling or the sky as you come into a little back bend here. Keep breathing. Only come back as you feel comfortable. Keep stretching the arms back. Drop the head back. Good. Keep the legs nice and straight. And squeeze your glute muscles. Exhale, bring it back through center. Hands through heart, and we're gonna fold forward, just diving through heart center. Lift halfway, bring your palms to your shins. Press your head forward. And by the way, you can also bring your palms to your thighs if you need to, if it helps you to lift your upper body so you're not rounding your back. But anyway that you are here, I want your back nice and flat. And then we'll exhale, fold forward, and we're gonna step back to a plank and drop right down onto your knees. Good. Lower all the way down to the ground. Point the toes. Keep the hands right next to your shoulders. And you're gonna open your feet up about hip width distance apart. Make sure that the tops of your feet stay glued to the mat, and you're going to just lift the heart. Little to no weight in the hands. This is just utilizing your back strength. Pull the chest forward. Squeeze through the glutes. And then exhale, release. Good. We're going to lift your head. Now bring your hands a little bit further forward, and I want you to press your hands into the ground, lifting yourself up from your pelvis up. And this is Swan Pose. You're pulling your heart forward. Now if you want, you can bend your knees, press your head back towards your feet. Now mine doesn't go back very far, but that's okay. In my mind, my head is touching my feet. Am I close? No, that's okay. That's not the point. The point is to stretch the front of the body, strengthen the spine, and then exhale. We lower all the way to the ground. And here's what we're gonna do. We're going to just flip over onto our backs. Okay. All right, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze here. And then we're just gonna drop the knees over to the right, taking your arms out wide for a twist. Make sure that your knees are stacked on top of each other. And if this back arm is just kind of hanging out in space, go ahead and just place something underneath of it so it's not just dangling there. Give it a little bit of support. So I hear a lot of teachers say in this reclined twist to press both of your shoulder blades into the ground, and that's actually not necessary. It actually starts to misalign the hips. So you want to have your knees stacked, your hips stacked, and twist from your belly button up. And by doing that, we create a safe environment for the spine. And that's all I care about, guys. I care about your back. I got your back. All right, so let's go ahead and come back onto your back. Give yourself another squeeze. If you need to, just grab the backs of the thighs here, that's okay too. And then we're gonna drop the knees over to the other side. Arms out to a T. You're gonna gaze out past your back arm, unless you have any neck issues, and you're gonna gaze out past your front arm. And just breathe, setting yourself up to start relaxing, letting that breath kind of kick into that calming effect that our parasympathetic nervous system has on our bodies. So it's said that if we control our breath, we control the mind. So we want to breathe in nice and slowly. And then we're going to come back onto our back. Give yourself one more final squeeze. And then drop your knees down to the mat as we make our way into Shavasana. So we'll give ourselves a couple minutes here just to relax, find some stillness, find some quiet, and just start to bring your awareness away from the outer surface of your body. So let's squeeze our shoulder blades underneath of our back so it kind of feels like we're padding our upper back. Good. And maybe move your butt cheeks to where you need them to be and just kind of get yourself comfy here. Get yourself really comfy. If you want to use a blanket or a pillow, those always are really nice in Shavasana. Yeah, so start to, once you get settled, focus on the skin. That's where our awareness is. Our skin meets the rest of the body. So that's where our body ends and the rest of the environment begins. So that's where we find the place of ego, the place of oneness, the place of singularity, individuality. So now we start to draw our awareness inward, away from our skin, away from the surface of the body, away from what separates us from everything else. And we start to dive deep into our inner consciousness, that dark, vast openness that connects all of us. So find a few moments here in peace and quiet, and I'll bring you out in just a bit. Start to bring your awareness back to the surface of your body, bringing it into your fingers and toes. Give them a nice little wiggle, nice movement into your wrists and your ankles. And then just start to move your arms and legs. Give yourself a nice full body stretch, reaching your arms overhead like you just woke up. Breathe in deep, 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 and then exhale, release. Bring your knees into your chest and roll over onto your side. Just take a moment here to gather yourself up, come back to life. And then we press ourselves back up to a seated position on your mat. And bring your hands together in front of your heart and bow your head in a gesture to remind us of the connection between mind and body. Please go from here today with peace and inner strength. I honor the place in you where the entire universe resides. I honor the place in you of love, of light, of peace, of truth. When you are in that place in you and I am in that place in me, we are one. Namaste. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did like it, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, give it some love, and let me know what you thought by posting in the comments. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe so you can get some more free yoga content. Thanks, guys. See you next time.